Is Connie Woods, and this is my presentation for interpersonal communication for class HSCO 508 at Liberty University. This project will go over my interpersonal communication barriers, my personality type or behavioral blend, and some action plans on how I can correct this. Um, Peterson stated that when I took the time to understand others, it not only benefited them, it benefited me. And this speaks on my overarching goal is to take the time to get to know others and as well as myself, so that I can grow in my communication and help others grow as well. I want to make sure that Christ is present in everything that I do, whether it's my speech, my demeanor, how I treat others. Um, I want to make sure that I create an environment that is positive and open minded to others, and I want them to feel safe and free when they're in communication with me. I want them to be able to be themselves. Um, in order to do this, I had to enlarge my conversation. Um, in order to enlarge my conversation, I have to first be aware of who I am. So, understanding my behavioral type, my personality type, and getting closer to God. Like, if I am constantly working on my communication with God, then everything else will follow in line. I am 29. I am single, with no children, and I work as a juvenile um, counselor at a developmental center or detention center, and I also work part time in retail. My behavioral blend was SC or CS, and that could be found on pages 73 through 78 in the book Carbonell by Carbonell. Um, this means that I tend to be passive, a laid back personality, and I am very loyal. I rarely have a threatening demeanor unless it's in protection mode. I'm a loyal person, and I rarely seek attention for anything. Um, I can be reserved a lot, and I tend to step back. People tend to come to me a lot for help, advice. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people that I'm close with, and a lot of people who trust me. The negatives of my personality type is sometimes I can get overwhelmed with helping everyone else with their problems, and I tend to neglect myself. Sometimes I don't speak up as much because I am so laid back that I tend to let my voice go, um, for the benefit of others. And um, that could be a negative sometimes. Sometimes I can be really comfortable and I don't adapt well to change, or I'm not willing to step into risky things that creates change in my life once I've been comfortable in the spot for a while. Um, and sometimes I give off the notion that people think that I'm an easy target or that they can control me, which is really the opposite of what I am. I am laid back, but I can't be controlled. Um, a positive is that a lot of people trust me. So I have a good way of handling conflict. I'm very good at handling conflict. And I try to be stable and steady at all times. A positive is that I really don't change. I'm always going to be who I am, and people tend to enjoy that about me. I'm not a wishy-washy person. I get along with everybody, and I'm always helping others. some communication barriers that I might have is sometimes I can be so used to giving advice that I can do what Peterson mentioned on page 103 actually, that I can sometimes give too much advice. It's called listening without advising. Or I can also get caught in stating I understand or yes I get it, but so because I give advice so much, sometimes I give it when not needed. Um, and the I understand can be read in Peterson's book, Why Don't We Listen Better, on page 120. Um, Another barrier that I have is sometimes I talk too much. So I have to make sure that I stay on course because if I speak too much, I can lose my listener. And the next thing is fear. Sometimes I fear speaking up and saying how I really feel, or speaking on things that I feel like that might ruffle some feathers, or I don't want to deal with that, or um, or I'll just hold my voice in versus speaking out. And having that fear can cause issues in the long run for me and whoever I'm communicating with, and in my relationships. A resource that I found, some strategies that I found for resources. The number one resource is the Bible at all times. It is the best blueprint on how to communicate with people. But in the article, Interpersonal Communication, it gave helpful information on how to communicate with others, such as don't interrupt others. When you're listening, don't make it about yourself, or abruptly change the subject. There's some things that it spoke on. Another article was enhancing interpersonal communication, positive mood effect, which speaks on um, if you are a positive listener or speaker, then more than likely um, the other person that you're communicating with will take up on the positive, and they will be positive as well. My action plan is to work on communicating effectively and clearly in a timely manner. I want to make sure that I think before I speak at all times, and I want to make sure that when people are communicating with me, that they can see the God in me and see that I really am working on my communication. I want to learn to better disclose myself to others and speak up for how I feel. And I got this in the book Bridges Not Balls on pages 211 and 223 that spoke on the importance of learning how to speak effectively and speak clearly on how you feel, and also speaking up for yourself. So it's a way to do everything, and it's a way to get how you feel across. And I want to also learn how to use the steps that was given from Peterson in the book Why Don't We Listen Better, from the talker listener card, and that's on page 55. I want to make sure that I'm bridging cultural differences, because in my job, I come across people from all different cultures, and it's very important for me to be able to bridge cultures, especially when working with juveniles, because my job is so important when I'm counseling them, to make sure that they understand, no matter the differences, that I understand them and I get them. Um, in conclusion, I just want to make sure I live by Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I want to make sure that I recognize the God in me, and that I am working hard on being the person that He created me to be. That means understanding my personality, and also working on listening and communicating better with others. The best part about life is that you get to learn yourself every day. So this concludes my interpersonal communication. Thank you.